Hello friends, and welcome back to our channel. Today we will explore the intricacies of China's plan to crush Elon Musk in the EV market. China has plans. Stay tuned till the end as we explore this. Leaving us a like proves you like what we do here. Then be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to be notified of any recent video. Thank you. Now let's get into this China's EV takeover plan. That is to say, inside Beijing's grand plan to dominate the future of electric cars. Over the past 10 years, the number of EVs in China has grown to more than 20 million. But with favorable policies about to expire, fierce competition is putting pressure on carmakers' profitability. When Tesla CEO Elon Musk was asked in 2011 about the Chinese electric car maker BYD, a Warren Buffett-backed company focused on cheaper eclectic vehicles, with a name short for Build Your Dreams, he simply laughed it off. "Have you seen their car?" he said then, adding that BYD didn't have a great product, and the technology is not very strong. Musk's juvenile expression of hubris was, and still is, singular. But his belief that China's automakers were not a threat was shared across the U.S. auto industry at the time. Of recent, the European Union is moving closer to imposing additional tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles entering the bloc, citing new proof that the government in Beijing is providing illegal financial support for the industry. The European Commission, the EU executive's arm, said this week it has found sufficient evidence that the imports of new battery electric vehicles from China receive subsidies, including direct transfer of funds, tax breaks, or public provision of goods or services below market prices. A lot can change in 13 years. BYD eclipsed Tesla in 2023 as the best-selling EV maker in the world. 1 out of every 3 electric cars sold is made by the company, up from 15% in 2020. Instead of laughing off the competition, Musk is now sounding the alarm on threats from Chinese automakers. On a conference call with investors in January, he said Chinese EVs would pretty much demolish other American carmakers if allowed to enter the U.S. America's biggest car companies have also started to recognize that they must figure out how to make electric cars cheap as soon as possible before China eats their lunch. While the likes of Tesla, GM, and Ford are rolling out a handful of high-priced luxury EV models, Chinese companies already offer a slew of options across a range of price points. Starter EVs, beater EVs, ones for getting from point A to point B. And while the American automakers are still trying to win over consumers just in their own country, Beijing is already planning to work around trade barriers and get these cars sold around the world, including in the U.S. The thought that Chinese quality engineering and design are not as high quality as the legacy carmakers, that should be put to bed. Tu Le, the founder of Sino Auto Insights, a consultancy focusing on the Chinese EV market, told me, "Right now, the legacies don't have competitive products. There's a vacuum. If China EV Incorporated were allowed to enter the U.S. today or next year, the legacies would be gutted. We are witnessing a shock to the global automotive order unseen since Japan barreled into the market in the 1970s. China's EV ascendance has sparked a fight that is forcing companies to stretch the limits of their technological capability and policymakers to reimagine the ideological underpinnings of decades of trade strategy. What's at stake is nothing less than a U.S. industry worth $104 billion, about as much as Angola's national GDP, and all the 3 million jobs that come with it. It's a global game. It has been a global game," Le said. "Motherfuckers just haven't been paying attention." The electric vehicle market in the United States has evolved from the early adopter phase, with 1 million EVs sold in 2023, a significant increase from 918,500 in 2022. However, there are signs that the current strategy employed by American automakers, creating EVs similar to traditional combustion engine cars, but with a $10,000 higher price tag, is not resonating with consumers. Ford and Tesla, among others, are now focusing on developing more affordable mass-market EVs to attract a wider customer base. In contrast, Chinese car manufacturers have diversified their EV offerings, catering to various consumer preferences. China's success in expanding its suite of EVs is attributed to lower production costs and a comprehensive ownership of the EV supply chain. While the U.S. struggles with insufficient charging infrastructure and dissatisfaction among consumers, China faces the challenge of excess EVs and makers amid a slowing domestic economy. The key for Chinese automakers is to venture into new markets, particularly in the West, including Europe and the US. The Chinese government's strategy to dominate the global EV space involves setting a goal for EVs to constitute 25% of all cars sold in China by 2025. Beijing provided financial support to companies aligning with this objective, creating a robust domestic ecosystem for EV components. Despite a shift in subsidies and the opening of the market to foreign investments in 2016, China's EV industry underwent a process of consolidation, leading to the emergence of competitive carmakers capable of producing world-class products. To sustain growth, Chinese automakers are now eyeing international markets, especially Europe and the US. Brands like BYD, Chery, and SAIC are in discussions with the Mexican government to expand operations, aiming to establish a foothold in North America. However, challenges exist, such as U.S. tariffs on Chinese EV imports. To navigate these barriers, Chinese companies may invest in the Mexican auto parts sector, allowing them to benefit from lighter restrictions under trade agreements. The rise of China's national champions in the automotive sector has become a contentious issue in international trade discussions. While Chinese trade representatives assure the reduction of excess capacity, Beijing has simultaneously outlined plans to promote Chinese EVs globally. This poses a challenge to Western nations, prompting debates on the balance between preserving the domestic auto industry and providing consumers with affordable EV options. In the U.S., concerns over the influx of Chinese EVs have led to discussions about raising tariffs further. The auto industry has become entangled in the broader question of globalization's worth, debating the balance between protecting domestic industries and offering consumers diverse, cost-effective EV choices. The Biden administration is contemplating increased tariffs, emphasizing the complex nature of the decision. As the global auto industry undergoes a transformation, the competition between American and Chinese automakers intensifies. Tesla aims to lead the race with a promised $25,000 EV by 2025. But challenges such as delayed product launches and ongoing price wars pose obstacles. Traditional American automakers face their own set of challenges, including a more assertive United Auto Workers, cautious shareholders, and management struggles. Regardless of the outcome, the future promises a profound transformation of the auto industry. And now let's hear from you in the comments section. If you enjoyed today's content, then give us a like, subscribe, and ensure the bell notification is on to be notified of our recent content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.